Greetings, folks, and welcome to another episode of the Dark Roast Podcast. For those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Jan Regency, and I host the podcast. In today's episode 26, we have one of my best friends, homies, named Angel, who has been in the rapping game for 15 years. He'll be discussing about how he started into the rap world and his evolution throughout the 15-year period and continuing on to now, and seeing where the different styles have changed due to different critiques from friends, other rappers, but also built his growth into becoming the best version of him. So more to come. Stay tuned for this episode, and let's hit it up. Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Dark Rose Podcast. This is episode 26. For those of you that are new to this channel, my name is Jan Regency. I host the Dark Rose Podcast, and we have a featured guest starring with our rapper guy here, Angel. Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, of course. Welcome. How you been, Mo? How's everything with you, man?
Life is lifing, man.
Life is lifing?
Life is lifing.
Gotcha. What you been doing nowadays? You been working or, doing your thing, or?
It's a very interesting question, my friend. What I've been doing is surviving and thriving. Obviously, I'm definitely far from being established enough to being able to do it full time and make a living off it. So still. Yeah, I'm not gonna reveal my 9 to 5, but let's just say I gotta.
It's keeping you consistent.
It's keeping a secret identity. My secret identity is being an artist. So
nice.
Worker by day, rapper by night, I guess.
How is that though? Like with the balance with the 9 to 5 and then the artist like lifestyle. How is that so far?
Honestly, it's very interesting. You gotta just find the free time, man. Obviously, everybody's come up story is so different, right? Like, some people can actually afford to go at it full throttle, and at one point in my life, I was definitely doing that, just putting all my eggs in one basket. Yeah. But life happens, man. You get older, and you gotta obviously invest in other options and make a living for yourself. Studio time ain't gonna pay for itself, right? So, It's a grind, man. You got to really be committed to it, because it's very easy to just kind of go on autopilot, go through the motions, and next thing you know, you're not writing anymore, you're not going to the studio anymore, you're not having time to listen to beats, look for beats, be creative. It's
funny, like, I feel for you on that, especially in doing a podcast, right? So for me, like, I was trying to get into being more consistent, getting guests on the show. And I mean, I started not too long ago compared to, how when you started as an artist, which we'll get to. But when I started in 2021, I remembered, like, because it was a pandemic, so there was enough time on our plates to, like, do whatever, like, because there was not much going on. So I remember, doing the podcast, and I was able to be consistent, getting guests on. And people had the time to get on the show because, like I said before, there was not much really going on. But then around like 2024, maybe a little bit of 23, but more 24, and obviously starting this year, it was kind of harder because it was more so like I've been so busy with like work and then traveling, and then I'm just having like a hard time even trying to get consistency, trying to get guests on the show because they're also busy too. So I feel for you on that, especially like when you get older and then you're also like busy with like other stuff and you're also maintaining the artist lifestyle. I feel for you on that, because it's like, when am I getting time to produce the music, make the lyrics, and at the same time too, I'm also trying to get like that consistent financial stability at the same time. So I was gonna say like that kind of I just literally thought of that too, and especially doing this podcast, I was able to like get you on. So thank you again for coming on the show. So going into it, right? So the artist lifestyle, right? I know specifically you're into rapping, right? That's like your bread and butter.
I would say so.
Yeah. So I want to know first, like, what got you into it? Like, how did you start to want to rap?
Honestly, it kind of really just happened. I always loved music, from a very young age, and all types of music. Just anything that sounded good. Obviously, I grew up on hip hop primarily, but man, pop music, rock music, anything that sounded good, I was into it.
Oh, yeah, so you're like a musically like inclined.
I don't know.
You think so?
I don't want to musically inclined. I don't know. But it's not like I played any instruments or anything, which is why it was so interesting how I got into it. So my freshman, sophomore year of high school, I went to a school called New York Military Academy, where I met one of my really good friends to this day, who he was like a couple years older than me. And my sophomore year, this was literally like February 2009. I don't know what possessed me to think that I can write a rap song or write a rap period.
Yeah.
But he had this MacBook with GarageBand on it and a microphone, and he literally was just like, "Yo, you want to make a song?" Listen, it's very choppy. My memory is very choppy about how it actually went down. I'm like generalizing here, but it was pretty much, my friend had the software. He had the means to actually record a song.
That's so cool, though.
I wrote and recorded my very first song ever to Paper Planes by MIA instrumental.
Oh, nice.
I wish I still had it to this day, but who knows?
Lost in the archives.
Lost in the archives.
That's cool, though, because it's like you wouldn't never like expect it, because your buddy was just like, let me throw in a MacBook, GarageBand.
Yeah.
Let's throw it down. Let's see how it goes.
It was very spontaneous. Spontaneous. Like,
but those are the best, though.
I went back to my room that night. I had a Sidekick LX.
Oh my god!
I had a Sidekick LX.
That is. You had the blue one or the brown one?
The brown one.
Me too, my guy.
I had the brown one.
Dude, that is a classic. I always love like when you just do that little flick up and it's
amazing, man.
They should just bring it back.
OG GOAT. But
side note, go ahead.
So I went back to my room that night, wrote my first verse, recorded it, and the rest is history. I've never stopped since.
Damn. Yeah. How was it though when you first write the verses, right? Like obviously when you're new to it, it took time to like kind of figure out how to like rhyme things, but also like connect the story. Like was that like a challenge for you when you first started?
Yeah, I mean the whole thing was a challenge. Like I didn't even. It's been such a growth. It's been a lot of growth. Like it's been a process. Like that was 09. Like bro, I didn't even. Like I knew the basics, like bars, like how to put bars together. A verse is typically 16 bars, and then you got the hook or the chorus. Like, mind you, this is back in 09. Things are a little bit more technical. Like nowadays, bro, people, you can have like an 8-bar verse or 12, whatever the case may be. It's a lot different. Like it's not as traditional as it was. But it was definitely a challenge. Like I had to learn. I learned a lot through the years, but somehow, some way, it came to me pretty naturally. Like
it just like clicked, and then for you were just like, oh, I didn't know I had like this like skill set that I can already like grow into.
For sure.
That's kind of probably how it started. Yeah. But that's awesome though. I mean, since you started 09, you said, right? Yeah. So that's already like 16 years, right? 16. So from that time to now, right? Obviously, there was a lot of ups and downs. There was a lot of growth and like learning. I was gonna say too, how was it too? Like, did you ever had any? I would assume you probably had like critiques from like your friends or fans or like just anything like on improving.
So very good question. For sure. I mean, even myself. Very critical. Yeah. Look, I was just playing, we were listening to a lot of the old stuff.
Oh, the old stuff, yeah.
And it's just funny how all these years later, like, I can have a different appreciation for what I was doing back then. Because back then, I didn't really think it was that good. Yeah. And I was always comparing myself to, I had peers, obviously, that was doing the music. Yeah. Also, people I looked up to, like, actual established rappers or whatever the case may be. So, I always held myself to this pedestal that I felt like, damn, am I good enough? But somehow, someway, I never quit. You know, even through all the self-doubt and hesitation, like
you just kept going.
I just kept going with it. You know?
Yeah, it's because like you love doing it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Once you have like a passion for it,
Genuinely.
it's like, it's like you never like look back. You just want to keep improving and even learn from like other rappers who, like you said, you've learned from like, you know, like local rappers or some of your friends that are rappers. Like you're all trying to critique each other, but you all have that passion to be better at your own style it, you know. And so that's actually pretty cool to hear about that, because it's like I always feel like critiques are always the best way to improve, and I've always wanted to know like how are you able to handle those kind of critiques. Like I know you said you self critique your own because you want to improve, but that's kind of how you grow, and that's how you become like to improve to be the best version of yourself as a rapper, and understand more like the technical aspects of it too. So that's actually pretty cool. And another thing too, because we're talking about like, you know, some of the rappers that, you know, you're trying to get like some sort of like feedbacks from. Did you have any influencers or inspirations that kind of elevated your style of rapping?
100%. Yeah. Obviously, we're talking about a 16-year timeline, right? So
there's probably changes, right?
It changes. There's been definitely a few names that have remained. It hasn't changed since. But I would say definitely like Lil Wayne, Kanye West, and Drake. At the time, like when I first, I'm talking about when I first started, like 2009, still in high school. I was a junior. Excuse me, I was a sophomore going into my junior year. Those three, like Wayne, Kanye, Drake. I was listening, bro. So Far Gone came out.
Oh yeah,
pretty much what I think.
Was it 07?
Don't quote me on this. It was no. So that comeback season came out 07.
Oh, that was comeback.
So Far Gone came out 09, I believe. I just don't remember if it was February or April. All I know is when that came out, it just really changed a lot for like what I consider to be like music or great music.
Yeah, that's the. I think I said this to you before. That's like the Drake that I like at the time. I mean, Drake is good, especially when he was transitioning.
Oh God, here we go.
But
here we go.
I'm saying this like I liked the OG Drake the best, because his was like very authentic and more like.
I still think it's authentic, but it's fine. We can.
Oh, we can talk bitches. We can table that. Yeah, like you have your own thoughts on it. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. No, you can say it, bro. You can just explode.
No. We don't need to get into the weeds with that.
Okay, I got you. But Drake, Lil Wayne, and Kanye, especially at that time too. Actually, to be honest, I think Kanye was already at the pinnacle already. I think Drake was already on.
He just dropped the
Lil Wayne.
808s and Heartbreaks in 08.
Yeah.
Which people said that was heavily influenced. So Far Gone was heavily influenced by 808s and Heartbreaks. So yeah, it was very like big, like transitional period in hip hop. Like you gotta understand, like Kanye was the first rapper to go as mainstream as he did and be as successful as he did. That wasn't necessarily a street rapper or you know came from like he was like I guess people would consider him like a backpack rapper. Boom bap era-ish kind of.
Gotcha.
But yeah, he was like the first big name artist that like you weren't talking about gang violence and selling drugs or whatever, but people still wanted to rap like because he was nice, he could spit, he was really spit, you know, he was a great producer, etc., etc. So then followed that up with Drake, who's also somebody who doesn't come from the real hard exterior bravado, like I grew up in the streets, I was gangbang, like shit like that. Yeah. But he had bars and he could sing and make good music. So that whole period of time was just a very big transitional period. I think Kid Cudi came out around that time too, if I'm not mistaken. When did Day and Night come out? I don't even remember.
2011? I think it was. You guys can fact check me, but it could be 2010 or 2011.
But it was just.
Was Wiz also in that era? Wiz Khalifa
was definitely like 09.
For sure. J. Cole, and he's still going was around.
And that was that's somebody I should mention for sure, because at the time, it was like Drake and Cole for me.
Drake and Cole,
who I thought were like the best. I mean, obviously besides Hove and Kanye.
Kanye.
But it's different. I can't really relate to, like, as much as I revere Jay-Z and I thought he was the best to this day, I still think he's one of the best.
Yeah.
I was 16 when I first started rapping, and obviously very far removed from the content that he was rapping about. Like, things that like Cole and Drake were rapping about were a little bit more relatable to me.
More relatable? Gotcha. Is that the thing too? Is that like kind of because Drake and Cole had like their storylines that kind of relate to your life per se?
I wouldn't even say necessarily that it relates to my life. It's just, it made me feel like as a young 16-year-old kid that's just starting to rap, it gave me the confidence that, okay, maybe sure, like, look, I grew up in the city. I grew up in New York City.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're born...
Rough environment.
Born and raised there?
Yes, born and raised, but then I moved to Jersey when I was in middle school.
Oh, nice.
That's another complicated story. It's been a tug of war. My life has always been a tug of war between New York and New Jersey.
Yeah. But I can relate too. I was born in Queens and then awesome. Moved out here at like 11, 12. So I feel you on the...
I was same age.
Yeah.
So it's like they just gave me the confidence that, like, it is possible to not necessarily be super street, but you can still have bars. You can still be respected.
I see
one of the best. You know, you don't necessarily have to come from that cloth.
Yeah, like you can have your own version and still be able to spit bars.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
It's like like when I think of like the 90s, like all the rappers in the 90s, because they had that street type deal. If you know what I'm talking about, I think like Tupac and all those rappers, like they probably all have like that cloth, that OG cloth. And then from what you're saying, Drake and who was it? Drake and Cole, they were more not like that, but they were able to kind of have their own style to it, right? Is that kind of like the ideology of what your perspective is, like, in a way?
Yeah, well, definitely they had their own style. It's not even necessarily more about the style. It's just like the nature of their like the content.
Okay, gotcha.
The lyrical content, the songs. Like I said, it's just similar to I would put in the Kanye tree, right? It's not about gang shit and drugs and whatever the case may be. Like it's bars, it's real life stuff. Obviously, Cole and Drake, they rap about, I would say, two different things. You know, they're coming from two different dimensions, but it's just like overall gave somebody like me who came from the background I came from the confidence that I could do it too. Gotcha.
And now we fast forward to this era. Do you have any artists that, like, especially the trending ones, do you have any current artists that you...
It's still the same. Drake, Cole, and Kendrick.
Kendrick?
It's ironic me saying that, because I was saying this big three shit before it even became this whole thing last year with the beef between them. For a long time, for years, I've said, like, people ask me, who's your favorites, who's your top five, who's your goats? Like, Drake, J. Cole, Kendrick, for sure, easily. I think they're the best, they're the greatest, you know, like, and much respect to all the OGs that came from before them, people like Hove and Nas, etc., that I definitely listen to and think they're amazing. But once again, it's an era before me. I think those three names that I mentioned, like, they resonate. They resonate differently for me. So.
Resonate different, and they're if you think about it too, they were the most consistent throughout.
They've been
like literally 2010 to now. Like, they're still going at it. You know what I mean?
It's really uncomparable, to be honest.
They can literally, because their impact, they can just retire and they'll be good, because they already kind of had that pinnacle already where they got the fame, they got everything that they needed because of all the music that kind of inspired a lot of people, not just in just the US, but around the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they became like generational rapper talent. Oh, wait, what about Eminem? You think Eminem would also...
You know, it's so funny that you mentioned
I forgot about
Eminem. Because he was actually one of my favorite rappers when I was younger, though. I'm talking like middle school.
Oh, well, he was at the peak, too, during that time,
Yeah, man. I love him,
he was
for
cool.
sure. Yeah, he doesn't get enough love, as much love as he should, but definitely, like,
Definitely, definitely. Nice, nice. So, if we talk about the origin of you, how you started, right? So tell me about like the challenges during the time from how you started to now. You know what I mean? Like, what were some of the things that, as time progresses, where were the areas you felt like, oh my god, like I feel like I need to be better at this, and then
I don't even know where to start. I mean, there's so many layers to it. For starters, like
you can start with the worst one, worst one, whatever you feel, man. Honestly, it's you know your vibe.
Confidence is, I would say, definitely on the top of the list.
Yeah.
Right, like self-doubt, especially for someone like me that's been doing it as long as I have, and you feel like, damn, like I've been doing it for so long, and I have all this music that I feel so strongly about, and I don't really have much to show for it, like obviously I'm still here. It's 2025. We're still trying to make things happen.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. Just having literally the drive to still keep doing it year after year, bro. I've been putting music out for 16 years now.
That is awesome, though.
So
like keeping that going.
Just never giving up. Just keeping it going. That's definitely the biggest thing. Then obviously the business has changed. I mean, bro, I used to buy a CD.
Yeah.
When I was
when
I first started, this shit is obsolete. People gonna be kids.
Yeah.
Certain age groups gonna watch this. Like, bro, what?
Yeah.
So
now it's
the
Spotify.
business has changed. Now you got streaming.
Yeah.
People used to put out music on SoundCloud, get discovered that way. Now that's pretty much dead as well.
Yeah.
No one's really doing remixes and covers to the hottest song out and stuff like that. Like, I'm gonna put the best verse out on this song. A lot has changed, man. That's a loaded question.
Do you think the trend now is like shorts, like YouTube shorts, TikTok? Do you think that's like currently the trend to get yourself out there and maybe potentially become like stardom?
One of many, for sure. TikTok, all this stuff. Yeah, it's just there's so much now with where the technology is taking us. It's like there's so many different avenues, but I feel like there's a lot more gatekeeping now as well.
That's true. That's true. I can see that.
Because of the fact that everything is just through these streaming platforms, and it's a lot has changed, man. A lot has changed. But the biggest thing I would say amongst all the many things that I can mention is definitely just simply having the will to want to keep doing it. To want to keep writing, to want to keep recording dope shit. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Having the drive.
And having that drive. But the thing is, though, with the drive, is that because, like we said before, is because, like, you love doing it? Is it, like, the genuine passion? If I didn't love doing it, you probably would have stopped, right?
100%.
Yeah. That's
genuine passion, and obviously confidence that I'm nice at what I do,
Yeah.
No matter all the, maybe times I get hard on myself and like, overly critique myself, like, at the end of the day,
yeah,
I know my value, and I'm glad that I've always, been able to stay true to that.
I respect that because not many people would be able to do it. You know what I mean? Like, people, which, I don't blame them, because it depends on, how their approach is on life, or, maybe they're just busy with everything. But that's hard because, it's one of those things where it's like,
it's understandable, man.
It's understandable. Things happen.
Bro, you have
people,
kids. You go through heartbreaks. You go through broke times.
Yeah.
So many different things, you know what I mean? That's why, like, I get it, I don't judge the next person, but I'm definitely very grateful that
blessed.
Even through all the ups and downs I've had in my life, like, somehow, some way, I always managed to just not give up, not quit.
Yeah, but that could also be like your inner peace. You know what I mean? Like, even if you're like, let's say you talked about, like, a heartbreak or something, maybe writing your lyrics or rapping, is like a, kind of one of those things where it gets you distracted. Like, like, maybe I'm broken emotionally, but this can actually heal me because this is what I love doing. Because sometimes, like, when I do dancing, right? Because I dance, like, I like to do hip hop dancing. That actually takes me into, like, my inner peace, or anything that I'm going through. That's a place for me to, like, kind of get distracted from, like, the reality. But it allows me to heal because, like, I enjoy doing it and I love doing it. Because when I hear music, it's just like art to me. But at the same time too, I'm just at peace because I just hear the different instruments, hear everything like in sync, you know what I mean? So I don't know, for you, maybe that could also be a way to be distracted from any situations that you go through, probably.
100%.
Probably just throwing that out there because, I could feel the same way with dancing.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, with that being said, right, so we talked about the challenges, right? So, obviously, the biggest one is the drive, right? So, during the drive, right, how do you, like, start your creativity, right, with new, like, if you, I know you probably do, like, covers, maybe you have also producers, too, that make beats for you, right? And then you kind of write your lyrics, how does that process start? You know what I mean? Like, say, like, you want to make a clean slate, you want a new beat, and you also want new lyrics. Like, what's your style and process to get to that finalized product?
I wouldn't say it's changed much over the years. There's one thing I'm going to mention. I feel like it was a little bit more prevalent back in the day than it is now, because it's just, the truth is, there's not much new stuff I come across that inspires me that much, sadly to say. Maybe I'm not digging enough, but whatever. The point is, like, for a long majority period of time of me writing, recording music, I would always, like, just certain artists would give me that feeling. Like, I hear a new song, whatever the case, maybe a new artist, and it would just it would just inspire me. Like, damn, that shit was so dope. Like,
you want to throw something down.
And that's honestly one of my biggest reasons, for one of the many reasons why I do it, is because nothing would bring me more joy than for me to be able to reciprocate that same feeling I get when I hear some of my favorite artists, when I hear some of the best songs I've ever heard. If I can recreate that feeling in someone else, holy shit, like, I did it. Like,
that's sick.
An accomplishment. So yeah, like, and Drake, Cole, Kendrick, Hove, Ye, I go down the list, like, all these artists for years have put out phenomenal music that when I hear it, it's an indescribable feeling. Like, it makes me want to go on YouTube, look for beats, which, by the way, is a majority. That's like, pretty much, used to be SoundClick. If anybody knows what SoundClick is, then you've been rapping for some time. But anyways,
nice. Oh, what is SoundClick? I don't know.
You can sell beats. You can sell beats.
You can sell beats on it. Gotcha.
So process really is just looking for a beat, obviously, first, like, looking for instrumental. Certain things give me inspiration. I want to even go look for beats, go down the rabbit hole, hours upon hours of looking for something that sticks. And then once I hear the right instrumental, it kind of, sometimes I'll hear a song or I'll hear a beat that just captures me, grabs me by the freaking throat, and like,
and you're in. You're locked in. You're
like,
locked in.
Pause on that, by the way.
Yeah.
But
I didn't even think. I was like thinking, like, wait.
And it's so sad. I even had to say that. This is for my New York people that, yo, bro. But
you clown, bro.
But
man,
yeah, man, it's certain beats will just spark that, and it's like the lyrics just flow out. Sometimes I'll freestyle some shit, like I'll freestyle a couple bars, and that'll end up actually being something that sticks, or like for a chorus, or maybe I start the verse like that.
That is so skilled. I can't even do that. Like
some of my best songs, in my opinion, I like wrote that shit within an hour or 30 minutes, because it varies. Like, there's songs I have where, bro, it took me a couple years to finish it. Like, I wrote however so much, and I just forgot about it, and I came back to it a couple years later, and I finished it. That doesn't happen too often, but it has. Like, the last project I put out, there's a song on there that I literally recorded in 2016, and I found it in my hard drive last year, and I was like, bro, this shit is amazing. Why didn't I finish this? I had like half of it done, and I finished the other half, and I put it out. So yeah, it really depends. It varies. Certain things really spark me quickly. I get it done quickly. Sometimes it takes a couple days, weeks.
Gotcha.
It varies.
Damn. I was gonna say too, because like when you find like a sample beat, right? I always want to know the thought process of it too, on how, like you said, it could be random, like a freestyle, but like if there was like a beat, does it also, the lyrics kind of goes off the mood? Do you think like it goes off like,
it's
okay,
completely random, bro? Honestly,
is that like that?
It's been very rare
Yeah.
where I've like started the process of writing a song or recording a song, and I'm like, this is gonna be about this. It's random every time. It literally depends on where the beat takes me. First time I ever performed was my senior year of high school. We had like this huge dance that all the local high schools would come to.
Yeah.
It was in the gymnasium. Probably like, I don't know, anywhere between 200 to 300 kids in there.
Oh, that's a lot.
Bro, it was so...
shit.
You don't understand. Yeah. It was literally spontaneous. If I remember correctly, I went there earlier that day. One of my friends was like, yo, bro, what if you performed at the dance tonight? And I was like, what? So I came prepared. I came with a burnt CD with 2 songs on it.
Sheesh. Here we go. Okay.
We got there, went up to the DJ booth. I told him, hey, man, listen. My name is Ace. I go by Ace Helena.
Hey.
I'm trying to perform, man. I got the CD. I got like 2 songs. It's only like a curse or 2 in there, but I can just obviously switch it up.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, oh, sure, no problem, man. And I did not think it was gonna be that easy.
Yeah.
So after that, bro, I was literally panicking for like the next hour. I'm like, bro, am I really ready for this? Like,
yeah. We're getting like that anxiety where you're just like, 100%. Oh, shit,
my friends had to come. Shout out to my boy Eric.
Shout out to him.
Who was one of the biggest reasons why I really actually ended up hitting that stage. The video is still on YouTube right now, actually.
Oh.
To this day, yeah.
You want me to put,
they recorded it.
You want me to put the link on there just so viewers in the preview?
I think I did just one song. It was I did a cover to Runaway, Kanye's Runaway song. And, bro, I did it. I didn't slip up one word. I did the whole thing. You can see how many people are in the crowd. It's honestly crazy when I look back at it. To this day, I've never performed in a much larger crowd than that.
I was going to say, that's like, for a start,
bro,
that is insanity.
Yeah, it was.
It was. Now, after that, you probably look at like some of the other gigs after, and they're like not.
It's to this day, I've never performed for that many people. So yeah, it was super cool. But other than that, very random places. I've performed in Jersey, New York, over the years. So
that's awesome. Yeah. Did you get any? I would assume you probably got like networking with people there.
Of course, yeah, every time.
They were like maybe producers and rappers. Like, oh, let's maybe we can do like a collab. Oh, you ever done collabs with other rappers? Like
features?
Like features, yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Nice. I feel like that too also adds to like your growth too, where you can also add more flavor to your style. You know what I mean? So I know you did show me this in the car when you were giving me some of the previews. Like you had like different styles to it too. Like you had the Ace version, so that was like the OG, like the original when you started, right? So you were Ace, was it Ace Helena? Is that
Young Ace? Actually.
Young Ace, you're Young Ace.
Then it was Ace Helena.
Yeah, so you went from Young Ace to Ace Helena to, we didn't bring this up, Stevie Rogers, and then now you are Angel.
Well, I went back to Ace Helena after Stevie Rogers, but now. Yes.
Oh, you did? Okay, so there was like a timeline to it. So between like all those 5, where did you feel that version of you were like, okay, I'm definitely like in the peak or pinnacle, between Young Ace, Ace Helena, Stevie Rogers, and the current you, which is Angel. You know what I mean? Like which rapper era best fits like you were transitioning into like the next level? That's actually not an easy one because it's like
definitely not, because
you have
I
a lot.
have a lot of music, and I haven't like a big appreciation for the different parts I was in like where I was in my life when I was making that music. But of course, I want to say like now, you know, like, and I wouldn't even say I reached my peak or my prime.
Like you're still going.
I feel like I'm. Yeah. That's one of the. Yet another thing I'm very proud of. I take pride in is like I genuinely feel like I've always kept evolving. I've only gotten better with every song. But yeah, I mean, look, I played you guys a song that I literally made in 2011, and you guys thought
I got so like thrown off. I'm like, whoa, like this is like really good. And you were like, yeah, I know. At the time, I thought it wasn't like, I thought it was there, and I'm like,
no, I appreciate
like,
what? That's what I'm saying. That's
what are you saying to me right now.
It's
oh man,
it's complicated, but yeah, I definitely would like to think that where I'm at now is, you know.
Are you gonna stay as Angel like? For good,
hopefully
or
this
there's
is
gonna be like an Angel 2.0.
Hopefully this is it, man. Hopefully this is it. I'm done with the name changes.
Yeah, but that's awesome though, cause like I said, like some of those versions of you, it was part of the evolving of where you are. You know what I mean? And that's awesome. That the fact that it's like, yeah, definitely not the peak. It's like the only time when it's over is like when you feel like you're calling it quits, but at the end of it, you're still evolving because you're grinding and you're getting all these different variations from different artists and getting more critiques to improve. Honestly, even when you were the start of 17, right? 17 years old, the stuff that you showed me, like the samples, they were really good. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm like, oh my God, he's been doing this for so long. So this is probably like, the lyrical stuff is probably like light to him for just figuring out, okay, I got a beat. I can get like something going if I just hear the beat in like 30 minutes. And that's impressive to me because that's just like, I can't even do that. Nobody, like I said, nobody can't do stuff like that. That's hard to do. You know what I mean? Because I can't even process words itself or a sentence. Just one sentence, I can't even do it. Yeah, so props to you on that.
Appreciate it.
I want to say too, because like I said, we're going more in depth with the rapping area, right? Was there a time where like maybe like something hit the fan in your life that you had to take a break from the rapping world for a little bit during that period? Was there like some situation that kind of was like, I need to take a break because something happened? You don't have to go into detail with it.
No, of course.
But if it's
I don't think I've ever
taken
a break from making music. Like I've put out a song every year since I started.
That's impressive.
I actually think, you know what? So I put out, the last time I published any new music was when I put out Capsule 777, which is the last, it's the project, album, mixtape, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I put that out December 28th, 2023. So actually, technically, last year, 2024, was might have been the first year since 2009 that I didn't publish a new song.
Oh.
Because obviously I put out that, it was an album of 18 songs. So it's like I kind of, first couple of months of 2024, I was just heavily promoting that. And definitely was going through some trials and tribulations that I kind of had to like just revamp,
Gotcha.
Like I kind of...
Also 18 songs, that's a good amount too, especially on a project.
Yeah.
Because that's like each song could be what, like, depending on the flow of the lyrics, it could be like 3 minutes, 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And that takes time for each one. You know what I mean? So I feel like maybe that also factor in. Well, you also said you were trying to promote it.
I was
right?
promoting it, trying to get it out there, but yeah, like listen, life happens, and it was definitely a time where I would say I had to take a little hiatus, like even just from having an online presence and promoting my stuff and stuff like that. So yeah, probably as of last year, that was the only time.
That was the only time you took like somewhat of a break.
Somewhat.
Yeah. And speaking of promotions too, like we also want to, for the viewers too, like we're gonna also add some of like your social media stuff so that people can check out your.
All I have is Instagram, to be honest. That's it. So.
All right, so check them out on Instagram. I'm gonna put it on the description below. You don't have like a website or anything like that, just IG.
I used to, not. I mean, technically, like if you go on my Instagram, I have a bio, link in my bio.
Oh,
typical.
there you go.
Yeah, it's like it's just one of those sites where you can like, it's not really a legitimate website. It's just like somewhere that has all my links essentially, like to my YouTube and Apple Music, Spotify, all this stuff.
I mean, that would be beneficial because at least like people can like hear your stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like you said you have SoundCloud though, right? Spotify.
I do have SoundCloud.
So we can,
but I don't even, bro. It's been so long. I don't even know what I have published or public there because I still have my old SoundCloud active. Gotcha. I just don't know if I made like how many songs I made private. I think some of them are still public, but yeah. Gotcha. But at least like you have something out there for somebody for people that's watching this and obviously wants to hear my music. Like everything's on the streaming platforms as far as like all my latest stuff. I think the oldest song I have on the streaming platforms might have came out in like 2020.
2020?
Yeah.
Gotcha. One other thing too, it's probably like the last thing that we can discuss about. Out of all the projects that you've done, which one by far you feel like was like the best that you've ever like?
So it's important to mention it's not like I've done that many.
Yeah.
I've put out, let's see, Intro to My Talent, No Comparison, Secret Nirvana, and Capsule 777. So that's like 3 projects in a 16-year career, quote unquote.
Yeah.
So, it's hard to say, and there's such a significant gap between all of them. So really, I'm going to say Capsule 777 because it's like, I feel like it's my most polished version of myself. Obviously, it's the most recent. So yeah.
And then within that project, which one was your favorite? I know I'm going into it deeper, but what's your favorite track within that polished Capsule 777?
I would say that it's hard. Whenever people ask me anything, what's my favorite? I am the annoying. I can never just say one thing because
because they're all like different in
that's
its
what
own
I'm
way.
saying. I can't just give. So I'll give you a few.
All right, fair enough.
I think are like some of my favorites. Definitely By the Campfire. There's a song called I Fell in Love with You. It's not spelled out that way. It's abbreviated, but whoever's watching this, they'll figure it out. Yeah. By the Campfire, I Fell in Love with You. Sacrifice. Going Home. That's 4, so I think right there. I'll give it one more, and probably What's Your Name.
What's Your Name? Yeah. Got you. So like 5, like you feel like, okay, like these are like pretty...
Some of my best work.
Some of the best work, yeah.
In my opinion, at least.
Yeah. And how long did each one take on those 5, like, in terms of, like, the production?
And creating it.
I mean,
no, it's not like I didn't... All those are just beats that I found on YouTube. But, so I didn't do anything. As far as taking time for the production, I didn't do... The beat was already made.
It was already made.
But as far as the writing, honestly, if, like for an example, By the Campfire... That was a beat I found. Has like a guitar, really, really dope guitar sound on it, and the hook came to me, and then I think I wrote that one pretty quickly. That was probably like within an hour. I Fell in Love with You. I think I came back to that. Bro, I wrote and recorded these songs at different points over the last couple of years, so it's really hard for me to like dig back and like, how long did it take me exactly? But yeah, it varies. Like some of them, like Sacrifice, I think that was one of those songs where I literally like it just can't. The lines just kept coming to me, and I finished it in one. I actually recorded it at my house because that's how fast I got it done, and I was so inspired by it. Laid it down, and then I ended up going to an actual studio to re-record it. So gotcha.
Yeah. That's awesome though. It, like, wow, like literally just from like being inspired from it, that clicks like nicely for you.
100%.
That's sick. I mean, I'm happy for you that you're still going, and it's good for viewers to hear that because like I said, the drive is the toughest thing. You know what I mean? The passion, that's something that it's not just out of like just because you talent. It's also because you love doing it. And so I feel that for you to do it for 16 years and who knows how long you'd be going with it. This would be like a forever thing.
Yeah.
You know, that's always like impressive to me, because it's something that it will always stick with you, you know, and not just a part of your lifestyle, but it's also part of you as a person, because it allows you to be yourself. It allows you to find your happiness, and honestly, you're able to share it with others. And I'm pretty inspired from it too. And I know a few of our friends over there.
No,
we're inspired.
Sure.
We're inspired from your rapping, and we're inspired from like your music and your creativity. So that's why I'm actually glad that you were able to jump onto the podcast, and being able to share like how you got into it. You know, so thank you for coming to the show. Also, make sure to check out some of his stuff on the description below, because his rapping is incredible and his music A1. So thank you for coming to the show, man.
Thank you, man.
Ace, Angel, Ace,
so many.
Thank you for coming to the show. Check him out, and we'll see you guys soon on the next episode. Peace out.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.